welcome to another episode of
Renal Talk with Tamika
and Steve. What's going on,
Hey,
Tamika?
Steve.
What's
How
going
are you?
on?
How you
It's
feeling?
good. It's good to see you.
Good
How
to
about
see you
yourself?
too.
You looking?
I'm well.
Huh?
I'm well. I said I'm well. I'm
How's
good. Kind of
yeah?
crazy.
How's Zoe and the family?
Everyone is doing good.
I said, how's Zoe? That's
Everyone's
good.
doing
That's
good.
good.
Zoe's good. Yeah. Yeah. Is it a delay? Is it like a little delay? Can
Yeah,
you
it
hear me?
seemed like it. It
Hi,
seemed like
Jared.
it. Just yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh,
I
he
was.
can't hear you. He's in the
Oh no, I was saying hi to
yeah,
Jared.
Tamika. We got a great show. We got a great show tonight.
Yes. I don't think you can hear me quite well,
I can
Steve.
hear
Hi,
you.
Jared. You can? Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Let's get the show started.
Yeah. We got a little delay, but we got a great show tonight. The gentleman lesson, he reached out to me. I didn't even know he's one of my Facebook friends and didn't even know. You know how you got like mounds of Facebook friends and you don't know, but he sent me a video of him being interviewed. And when I saw the video, I actually thought he was the guy doing the interview and he wanted me to critique the video, right? That's what I thought until I tagged on the gentleman's page and start looking, and then the familiarity of the interview of the gentleman. His name is Howard McElroy. He's a donor, right? Just out of nowhere, he donated to a guy at the church that they were chopping it up in the group. And he was just so touched by a story that he just decided to donate. And he told this story on video to a gentleman. I mean, real touching, emotional video. So he's here to share his story. He never knew anything about kidney disease before donating, right?
He just wanted to help.
He just wanted to help. He's going to tell you a story. He's out of Reno, Nevada, the biggest little city. I think it's what it's called, the biggest little town in the world. But to help us and to also talk about this, because this kind of centers along the topic tonight, faith and transplant. Do you have faith? And there's several people that are going on this concept of using Christianity faith to appeal for a donor. And we have no other than half of the Brown brothers, Jared Brown. The other half is Jeffrey Brown, who's in Abu Dhabi. Hey, Jeff. But we got Jared Brown. Let's bring him on. He's host of the hit show Warriors Quest. What's going on, Jared?
Doctor. Hello.
How are you?
How's it
going? I'm great, man. I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome.
So Jared, why did you want to be on this, participate? And you said with excitement. What is it about faith and transplant that appeals to you?
Well, it appeals to me because faith is such a strong part of my life and my identity. I can't imagine going through any hardship, any trial that I've had in my life without my faith. I literally would be worse off, and I honestly believe that I would not be the person I am today without my faith. And so I get excited, I get passionate when I talk about my faith because it's helped me. It's made me feel not alone. It's made me feel strong. It's made me feel encouraged. It's lifted me up, and it's given me, grace has given me more than what I am.
Right. It kind of makes you feel like Jared said, like you're not alone, that this too shall pass.
Absolutely. It looks like Steve may be freezing up there a little bit.
Yeah. Steve, did you hear it?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
absolutely. Yeah,
and
we do
I do
have some
have.
delay with the internet.
Yes.
So, Tamika, again, I love what you just said there, is that, something that may happen that's hard,
Mm-hmm.
it can pass. And when you have faith, okay, and you pray and
Yeah,
you believe in it, okay, it gives you that strength that you can envision, okay, this thing that's going on right now, whatever it might be, that it can pass, that it's not going to be, something that's going to be in your life, for long term or forever. However long, only God knows, but it it does help and give you strength. And I think that um, anytime you have a hardship, but especially when you have kidney disease and you're going through kidney disease, I think that it can give somebody strength. Whatever it might be. I'm not saying you have to have, that you have to have the same faith I have. Whatever, maybe you have a Jewish faith. Maybe you have, Jehovah Witness. Maybe you pray to Allah. Whatever it might be. I just think that you have to have some sort of, I think, and I strongly urge people to have some sort of faith,
Mm-hmm.
because it can give you, some sort of encouragement.
Right. Something that you can hold on to. Because
Exactly.
sometimes life just gets rough.
It can bring you down to your knees.
And you just in a place of loss, and you need that faith to pull you through. That joy will come in the morning, even when it don't look like it. It's storming, and you don't see that bright light. It's that faith that's gonna like
Right.
pull you through.
Right. And even if it's as, you may have a mood or emotions that are really dark. Okay. Faith can lead, to
yeah.
light.
I
Mm.
gone back. Y'all
Steve, go out and come back in again.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
It's just a little choppy.
Tamika.
Yeah. Yes, I can hear you, Steve.
It's just delayed. It's a little
Yeah.
choppy, Steve.
Yeah. I think it.
So, maybe you and I can continue to talk until he gets
Jay,
that resolved. So,
Yeah.
bring on
I've had
that
maybe.
internet connection issue.
Oh, he said bring could you bring on the guest? He's having some
I normally would, but I actually logged out. I'm actually logged into my own account. I'm not logged into his, so I can't bring the
okay.
guest in.
Okay. But so we're gonna try to have like a conversation until
Yeah.
we get back. So I remember being homeless, and not even having no direction of where I was gonna go. And it was only faith that got me through it, sleeping in my car and still going to
Hmm.
work, and trying to pretend like nothing was wrong. And I didn't think that I would actually get out of that slump. But I began to
Tamika,
call on God. Yes, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
Yeah. You may need to
can
reboot
y'all
your
guys hear
router.
me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yeah, I
you.
can hear you, but it's just delayed and you freeze up.
All
Yeah.
right, Jared, bring our guest in. He's been
He
waiting like 10 minutes.
he
I
can't he can't bring him in because he's not logged into the one you guys have.
I'm logged into my own account, so
He,
I'm not in your account. I don't know if he heard that. Sorry.
Steve, he can't bring him in because he's not logged into your
I'm
account.
not I'm not logged into the Urban Health Outreach Media account. So, I can only imagine what you may have gone through. And, when you were going through that, was it easier for you to have the faith because you were able to focus just like one day at a time and not look at the doom and gloom of maybe a bigger picture? How was that able to drive you and help you through the day?
I honestly didn't even look at a day at a time.
Wait a
It
minute.
was like,
Can you guys hear me now?
yes, it was like moment by moment, just
Okay.
constantly, asking God to redirect me, to like hold me up, because I'm in a place right now, and
Hmm.
I don't know which way I'm going, you know. And he did,
Right. Can you
he
guys
showed
hear
me
me?
direction. Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Let's bring on our guest.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this guy, I gotta hear his story. We got the internet, I guess, okay. So why it's stable? I want to bring him on. Without further ado, Howard McElroy. Hey, Howard, how you doing?
Good. How
Hi,
you guys
Howard.
doing?
Great. It's good to see
Pretty
you.
good. Now, Howard, you donated your kidney to a stranger.
Yes, I met him
Can,
at church.
Oh,
can you take us
Wow.
back and share that story with us?
Wow.
Well,
How all that came about?
sure. Hi, Tamika. My name is
hi.
Howard.
Hi,
Uh,
hi.
I can hear Jared and Tamika very well.
Okay, great. You can
Yeah,
hear us?
yeah. So I heard your conversation backstage. It was pretty moving about what you guys were talking about, and I kind of had the same story of my life where it was pretty dark, and there was a time where I didn't have anybody in my life. It felt like I felt pretty alone and making bad decisions along the way and everything. And then finally, I had my faith was very important to me, and so God came into my life again, and had started working on me in my life, and just believing that there's something better out there than what I was going through at the time.
Amen.
So faith was very important. Faith kept me going.
Mhm.
Faith kept me alive when I didn't want to be. And so I just kept plugging away, and I started making better decisions. I quit drinking. I quit chewing tobacco, and I was on Xanax for a number of years, and I was able to stop that only with a lot of prayer
Mm-hmm.
and you know what? A lot of faith and prayer. That's it in a nutshell. It was
Mhm.
nothing that I could ever do by myself.
Right.
Amen.
And so things
That's
started
awesome.
changing and started making better decisions. And then my wife and I had relocated to another church on our end of town. And then we
Okay.
had also joined a small group in the evening on a Tuesday evening.
Mm-hmm.
And the group was new, and so we met everybody because it was a new group also that was kicking off. And one gentleman there was a contractor like myself, and he had said that he had kidney disease for over 40 years, and he needs a kidney soon. His
40 years.
Yeah, his kidney was about 14 to 13% function, and was going to have to go on dialysis soon.
Wow.
And really, when I heard that, I just thought,
Huh.
that's a bummer. I didn't know anything about him.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
didn't, nobody in my family, I didn't know of anybody. And I'm like, okay, whatever, this guy needs a kidney. And so I just thought, well, what kind of person donates? Are they special people, or
Mm-hmm.
are they from like Donor Island or something, or where they come from? Where are
Hey,
these people? Because I don't know anybody.
Right.
right.
Well, then I started processing. It's like a person that would donate would have to obviously start with a blood match,
Mm-hmm.
and then I thought, well, I was in pretty decent shape. I quit drinking, quit chewing 5 years ago, and I thought, okay, that's got to be a plus, right? And
Absolutely.
I kind of took care of myself, but I didn't know how well. I thought I might qualify. I was semi-retired at the time, and finances were okay, but heck, finances could always be better, right?
Right.
So I'm like, wow, I'm O neg. My blood is O neg, so I can actually give to anybody. But I didn't tell this guy that, and so after some time, I found myself on Sunday mornings going to church, and I'm like, should I be doing this? Is this something? Is this for real? Is this something I should do? And then pretty soon it was every Sunday
Okay.
for months. And pretty soon it's like I couldn't escape the thinking about it. I couldn't. There was nowhere to run, and so the final time I was like, I just want to go to church. I don't want to be. I just want to go to church, get in there, and get out. And sure enough, 2 minutes later, I got tears running down my face, and my wife's like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Sure." And then I was like, I have to tell her what's going on. So that afternoon, I told her, I said, "Sweetie, I think I'm supposed to give this guy my kidney." And she's like, "Okay, have you done any research?" I'm like, "Nope, I don't know anything about it. Can you die?" "Yep, I can die. I don't know what it's going to cost. I don't know anything." Well, just so happens our pastor, at this year, it's going to be 36 years of his kidney transplant.
Wow. Okay.
36. I know, it's a long time. It's crazy.
Yes.
So I scheduled an appointment with him, and he's like, "Okay." I told him what's up, and he said, "Let me ask you some questions." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "Are they offering you any money?" And I'm like, "No." "Can they?" And he's like, "No, they can't offer you money. That's illegal." And I said, "Okay." I said, "No, they're not offering me any money." And he goes, "Well, you're not going to benefit anything out of this." And I said, "No." I said, "No, there's nothing in it for me except for a 4-inch scar." And he said, "Then why are you doing it?" And man, I've told this story so many times and it still gets me choked up. I started just thinking about how I've been given so much grace and mercy in my life. And my faith is so important, and God has redeemed me. There for a while it felt like Job, and just day in and day out, and just hanging with it and just believing that I'll come out of it someday, my faith. And so I just I said, you know what, if I can help somebody's life after all the the things that I've done, I can at least do that, help one person, and save a life.
Nice.
And so he's like, "Okay, it sounds like this is something you should do." I said, "That's all I needed to know." So I told my wife, and then we scheduled an appointment with a retired nephrologist at church. And he told me that it's safer than it's ever been. Downtime is roughly 8 weeks. Insurance companies, the recipient's insurance company will pay for it. So it's as good as it's ever been. I said, "Okay." And she was comfortable with his answers. And she goes, "Okay, let's do this. We're going to do it, So then I had to tell Mark that we're going to start this process. I knew my blood matched, but we had to do more testing. And so I had to let him know what's up. So I see him at church on Sunday.
Okay.
And then our little group is on Tuesdays. So Sunday I see him and I said, "Hey, Mark, why don't you and your wife come over for dinner on Thursday?" We're getting to know him a little better. And so it was fitting that we could invite him over to get to know him better. He goes, "Okay, Thursday works." And then Tuesday comes, we have our small group, and he comes up to me and he says, "Hey, Thursday's not going to work for us, but tomorrow does, Wednesday." I said, "Okay, that sounds pretty good, but we're going to go eat somewhere. We'll take you guys out. We'll go eat somewhere." And he said, "Okay." So we have our group, and then he comes back up to me and he says, "Hey, I forgot to tell you something." I said, "What's that?" He goes, "Tomorrow's my birthday."
Oh, wow.
And I said that to myself, and I'm like, "No, it's not." He goes, "Yeah, it is." I'm like, "Mark, no, it's not." He goes, "Yeah, it is." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And
wow.
He said, "No, is that a problem?" And I did everything I could from just start bawling right there, because I knew that I just picked a day. And God pretty much rearranged it to where I had to tell him on his birthday. I had
Right.
all days.
Wow.
Out of all days,
Yeah.
I have to tell him I'm going to give him a kidney on his birthday.
On his own birthday. Wow.
Oh, wow.
What a
So
birthday gift.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's so cool, and so that just anchored my faith even more. That I just picked a day out of my control, and God's like, no, I want you to do it on his birthday.
Wow.
And so I said, okay, and my world's rocked right now because I'm just like, oh my gosh, I have to tell him on his birthday.
Right.
So we finished up our group, and my wife and I get in the car, and I said, sweetie, we're not going to dinner Thursday. We're going tomorrow. She goes, okay. I said, tomorrow is Mark's birthday. I said, I have to tell him I'm going to give him a kidney on his birthday.
Wow.
And that was unbelievable because we were all talking and everything. And then I just said, hey, Mark, I got to tell you something. I said, it's been put on my heart to give you my kidney. And I said, this is something that I've been praying about, for a while. And I said, this is what I'm going to do. I said, if you don't want it, that's between you and God, but I will give you my kidney.
Wow.
And that just stopped him in his tracks. And then we all had tears at the table.
Wow.
So it was a pretty cool night. And so that started the whole process of, getting tested and going through the whole process of the kidney.
Hey, Howard.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I've been having some broadcast issues, but I heard this. Now, let me ask you.
Yeah.
You haven't been tested when you told them you was going to give them a kidney, right?
Correct. All I had.
So what if you went through the testing and it didn't go through? Would you had opted to do paired exchange, or you would have just forgot about it?
Man, that's a good question, Steve. I honestly don't know because I know kidney chains are really popular right now.
Right.
And I honestly don't know.
You just happened to be a match. You didn't even know that.
Correct. Our match was like a sibling. We had 3 out of 6 markers. Yeah, so we were like a sibling match. And all the testing.
Wow, like a sibling match.
Yeah.
It
went very well.
That was perfect.
Wow.
That was perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah. And so I got treated extremely well by the doctors at UC Davis. The process went very well. I was the only donor on the floor, which I didn't know anything about. I thought the hospital would be filled with recipients and donors. And the anesthesiologist was like, hey, you're the best patient we have today. And I'm like, wow. Okay. I didn't know what that meant. Well, then I realized I was the only living donor on the floor.
Wow.
And I had, I have many siblings, and I have 3 sisters that are nurses. I have a stepmom who's a retired nurse, and they were all there with me. So I had my own team of nurses, which I was truly blessed in. So when the nurses would come in, the nurses would come in and say, hey, you got to do this and this and this. I'm like, okay, sis, what'd they really say? And so that night I got out of surgery at, I think 4:00. And that evening, my sister encouraged me to get up and walk, and I did. I made a couple laps around the nurse's station, and which I was totally shocked that I would be able to walk because I thought my innards would be all over the floor. But I said, I made 2 laps, and I asked, how many times do you want to do this? They said, get back in bed. And,
no way.
It went remarkably well, and the next day, I started to understand the impact of what happened. People were thanking me for what I did. And they were other recipients, and I didn't understand. It's like, I'm not giving them the kidney. I'm giving somebody else the kidney, but they're thanking me for what I did. And so I started to understand the impact. And I had a nurse come into my room, and she said that she wanted to update my board, my information board. And I said, okay. And it was at my feet. So on the wall. So her back was towards me the whole time. And I thought, well, this information is all at the nurse's station, just right outside. But, she wants to come in and do this. And I said, okay. And she asked for,
Wow.
yeah, if I, in case of emergency, who do we contact? And I said, my wife, and my number, her number's this. And then she asked my phone number. And I'm like, all this is at the nurse's station.
Right.
And then she finally stopped. And she said, thank you for what you did. And I said, you're welcome. And she goes, what you did was absolutely amazing. I said, thank you. She said, God bless you. And she turned around and she had tears in her eyes. And she said, I just had to meet you.
Wow.
Wow.
And I never saw her again. She wasn't my nurse. She wasn't my nurse. I don't know where she came from. And that was a pretty special time. And then I did have a moment where everything was completely full of joy and love and peace. And some people told me that was being in the presence of God. And my wife came back. She had to go run an errand. She came back and she asked how I was doing. I said, everything is perfect. And perfect would be the only word I can come up with. But I don't think perfect comes close to what I was going through. Because everything was peaceful. And I had so much peace and so much joy. And there was so much love. And she goes, how can everything be perfect? You're laying in one of those gowns with a catheter and IVs, and you're eating hospital food. How can everything be perfect? I said, I don't know. But the whole process, the whole process was like that. I was never anxious about the surgery. My wife and I were never scared or anxious or nervous about the whole process. It didn't happen.
Now, Howard,
Yes.
how was your faith before the transplant? Were you a regular church goer, active in church and everything like that?
Yes, I was active. We went, we go to church and participate, and we're involved. So my faith was just as solid as it is now. And when, I was wanting to be used by God in some way, I've been given so much grace and mercy on my life that I got to do this for somebody else. And so this was never my idea. I'd rather play golf than go have surgery and risk life.
Right.
It was never my idea. So if this was put on my heart by God, then I was going to believe everything.
Stand by. We're having technical difficulties with our internet connection. We should have the other host and guests.
Hey, Howard, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
But
So
as you
when you
heard, Howard McElroy, his faith has been solid. And I believe that.
So Howard, when you were telling us your story about the nurse that came into your room, your patient room, and was asking you questions, and that information was already available at the nurse's station.
Yeah.
My question, I guess what I'm trying to say, or what I want to ask is this, did you ask who that person might be? Did you ask other nurses who that person was that came into your room?
No, I didn't. I didn't. And I haven't been in the hospital a lot. I haven't had a lot of experience in the hospital. So at first I didn't think too much of it. Somebody wants to update it. And so I didn't really pay attention to that. Really, I didn't know, and didn't have the experience in it, only to figure out some of this stuff after.
Right. Did you know anything about kidney disease prior to donating?
No,
Wow.
I didn't know a thing about it. I didn't. That's honestly, I was like, who donates? Who
Wow.
are these people? You know, I don't know who donates, and so I was trying. I guess I'm just trying to be intentional with this whole process. You know, instead
Right.
of instead of leaving it to go, oh, somebody else will do it. Oh,
Right.
Jared's got it handled. He'll get people to sign up.
No.
Tamika talks on a radio show. They got it all handled. I don't have to do anything.
Right.
But I don't sit on the sidelines very well, and so it's like I can help somebody, and I didn't realize it was going to change my whole life, and to what I'm doing now, speaking and stuff like that. I was released. Let's see, surgery was Tuesday, and I was released Thursday. I was back to doing what I did, and my incision never hurt. I stopped taking. I had 5 prescriptions that I was asked to take. One I took for the whole duration, and the other, I think 2 I threw away, and 2 I took for a couple days, and then I stopped taking them because the painkillers I didn't need. I just took Tylenol. It didn't hurt. It itched, from the heat.
Yeah,
but it didn't hurt. I don't. So my nutritionist also says that she told me that I have no restrictions. I have low blood pressure, low to medium. So salt is not a factor.
Wow.
I should do everything in moderation, anyways.
Right.
We should be doing
general,
that.
Yeah.
Whether you have a kidney problem or not.
Right.
Exactly.
So take care of yourself. And so
definitely.
I went hunting with my nephews this past fall, and I covered a lot of miles with a backpack of 50 pounds at 9,000 feet elevation. So I cannot tell that I had any surgery. I walked in on Monday and I walked out on Thursday.
Wow.
And I know that's not everybody's story.
Right.
The surgery is supposed to be harder on me than the recipient.
Right.
And it wasn't that way.
So,
but I know that's. Go ahead, Tamika.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you often encourage people to donate? Like, not do it the way you did it, because not everyone's you, but just take it and see where you can help.
Yes, I spoke to a friend of mine the other day. I've spoken to several people. They have questions about it, and so I answer the questions for them and encourage them if that's something they want to do. So yeah, I speak to people all the time about it.
Now, when you look back on it and you look at kidney disease, what do you think?
I think if I had 2 kidneys, I would do it again.
Nice.
I know that there's over 110,000 people waiting for a kidney transplant, and that's a real problem. And less than 1% who are signed up with the DMV as registered donors, less than 1% actually make it to donation at the time of death.
Wow.
And I know that living kidney donors in the United States, so there's about 250 million adult Americans in the United States. Living kidney donors is that's 4 zeros, 0.3. That's the percent of the population. If we were to double that, I know it's so low, it's not even. It doesn't even count as 1.
Right.
I mean, if we were able to double that to 0.00006,
right,
we actually might be able to make some progress.
Absolutely.
But diet is very important. Taking care of yourself. One thing that during the surgery, my kidney came out, and then it went into Mark. The kidney started functioning right away, immediately.
That's good.
And he had high blood pressure, and so when the kidney started functioning, he tanked on his blood pressure. It tanked because he was getting treated for high blood pressure, and so they took him all the way down to where he's finally not taking any medication for high blood pressure.
Wow.
And he now has low blood pressure.
Wow.
Wow.
And he no longer takes any medication for gout.
Wow.
So
that in itself is good. I've got family members that have gout. They tell me it's painful.
I heard, yes.
Yeah.
I did too. The only thing that has changed physically for me, and there's not really a good explanation. Actually, there might be a good explanation, but you tell me. is that for 40 years I took allergy medicine, shots, allergy medicine, Zyrtec, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And now I don't. The last 2 years.
Really?
Yeah. So this happened. My surgery was 2017. And since 2017, I haven't taken any shots or medication for allergies.
Is that on your own, or you didn't need it? Why was that?
I didn't need it anymore. I have no idea why. I mean, in the spring, I'd be sneezing so bad you would think I had a cold.
Oh, wow.
I would have to take a shot, a Kenalog shot or something, and allergy medicine. And now I've had 2 seasons come and go, and I haven't had to take anything.
Wow.
Has your story inspired anyone in your church to donate a kidney? Since we're talking about faith, has anyone else that you know that may have seen or heard from someone else's story?
I spoke to a lady this last week at our church who's interested in donating. So I've had a few people ask about it and are kind of interested, but are just tossing it around. Another friend of mine, was very much considering it. He went through all the testing, and the person that he was going to donate to had some cysts. So he had to take care of that issue with cysts, and then you have a 2-year waiting period. Well, after that 2-year waiting period, the donor's wife was having some health issues, so he couldn't donate.
Oh,
okay.
So, which was too bad, but he had to take care of his wife first.
Sure, right. That makes sense. That's understandable.
Yeah, so maybe later, but at least people are thinking about it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So Howard, have you been able to connect with other living donors online, like Brenda Cortez and other living donors through social networks?
I have a little bit. I spoke to a lady in Pennsylvania that donated a kidney to a stranger. And I've talked to a few people. And sometimes it's hard to connect sometimes because they don't know that I've donated. I don't put it too much out there on social media. I'm friends with a lot of people on social media. And I don't know, it's kind of new to me, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
I mean, you guys are pretty bold about it, and I appreciate that. And so I can learn some stuff from you and Steve and Tamika, you know. So I'm kind of learning how this works and just trying to understand some of this process.
Well, there's a great camaraderie, a great community of living donors, and if you haven't connected with Brenda Cortez, and some other living kidney donors,
Trish Phillips, George Franklin,
exactly, right? Trish Phillips, George Franklin. I mean, a bunch of people in the community, and they get together, and they.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they get together, and there's this place called the Bean.
Oh really?
Yeah, they convene and get together at this place called the Bean. And
oh wow!
Is that in Michigan?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. So Dorley Martin's told me about it. Amy Martin. So it would be a wonderful opportunity for you to continue to flourish with your story, because you could hear their testimonies and hear how they were. Because the one thing that is a common denominator. I mean, there's the one thing I've heard from nearly every living kidney donor that's talked about his or her story
Yeah.
is that they've become better people. Okay, that they feel like they've got purpose. Okay,
Yeah.
Every time I've spoken to somebody, they've said that, like they've got
Wow.
they feel like they've got more direction in their life. And, you know, and
Wow.
that's what inspires me because of my faith, Howard. Okay, when
Yeah.
I hear stories like that they feel like they're more connected in their life. Okay, I don't think and I don't believe that's a coincidence. I
Right.
think
Right.
I don't. I think that the reason why you feel more at peace, okay, is because you've done something that God is pleased with. He's happy about what you've done, okay, and He's shown.
Well,
Yeah, I don't think any of that was a coincidence. Even the nurse coming in.
no,
Right.
I think all
it's
that
not a
was His word.
coincidence. Well, in Mark 10:45, it says that
Chills.
for Jesus Christ came to be not to be served, but to serve,
Mm-hmm.
and to give his life as a ransom for many. I mean, that's what I want to encourage people to, is that we're not here for everybody
Ourselves,
else's.
right.
No.
You know, we're here to serve
Serve,
people and to
yes.
love one
Yeah,
another.
absolutely.
And
Yes.
It's all about
and-
love.
Yes.
right. And I know that might sound a little corny, that everybody should love everybody, but it's the truth.
It's the truth.
Right.
And if we were able to put other people's needs first, we'd have a different world to live in.
We'd have less
Right.
chaos. Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
I always tell my children that my life is not my own and their life
Correct.
is not their own, and they're here to serve. You know,
Right.
they're here to help others. So being selfish is something that they have to not even think about, because their life is not their own. Like, God put us here to help, to serve others, not just to
Right.
be selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you have the King of Kings. The King of Kings came
Yeah.
and washed everybody else's feet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he
He
wasn't
himself.
he
Yeah.
wasn't right. He wasn't robed in all this majesty and everything. He came as the poorest person
Yeah.
on earth,
Yes.
and he hung out with those people so everybody could reach him.
Absolutely. And even at the Last Supper, okay, he chose to actually wash their feet. Okay,
Correct.
he was washing their feet. You know,
Yes.
the Son of God, okay, washed their feet. Something
Right.
that, you know, that is something he didn't have to do, but he felt like, you know, he wanted to do something and show them that he loved them. And
Yes.
you know, and I was asking you questions about that nurse that was coming in, and I don't know, you know, maybe I'm just asking, and I don't know if this is true or not, but had you ever thought of maybe that was an angel?
Yes. Oh, yes, very much so.
Good one.
Yes. Yeah, I do believe that. Not on my floor, not
Mhm.
not assigned to me,
Yeah.
and yeah, definitely.
Hey,
Definitely.
hey, Howard. Let me play
Yeah.
devil's advocate here for a moment.
Okay.
If we all know that surgeries have risks and complications. Now,
Yeah.
if you went in that surgery and it was the opposite, if you had complications and you were still dealing with those complications as we speak, and they impacted your life in a very instrumental way by giving your kidney, would you feel the same way? Would you think that's what God wanted to happen? Would you still have that same feeling that was in God's plan for you to have complications from that surgery?
I like Tamika said, our life is not our own. It's on loan from God, and I know that if that's His plan for me, then that's His plan. I don't have any control over that, and I would hope to think that I would be strong, and I think I would be in that situation. I had about 10 years of my life that was like Job, and I lost my parents and all these other things, bad relationships and financial devastation and everything, to where I wanted God to just take me because I was no use to anybody. I was on Xanax. I had to take sleeping pills to get to sleep.
Wow.
Because I couldn't do it myself, and along with the Xanax and the sleeping pills, I had to drink 2 big cocktails of gin and tonic just to go to sleep.
Just to get that peace.
Yeah.
And by all rights, I should have been dead, but I woke up gasping for breath many times. And it's not my time. It's not my time. And if God has this plan for me, then I will trust. He's got his plan's better than mine. I've already proven that to myself.
They say
many times.
Right.
But it would be hard, Steve. But I would have to lean into him even harder.
Amen. Amen.
Go ahead, Howard. I'm sorry.
The nurse, my nurse asked me, my social nurse asked me, she said, well, what if this doesn't work? And what if the kidney, you're going to give it to this guy. What if it doesn't work? And I said, Glenda, I said, this is something that God put on my heart. I don't have any control over the rest of it. So I'm going to do my part of what I'm called to do.
Right.
So if the surgeon drops it on the floor and they step on it and it doesn't work, or it doesn't work in the patient and it fails or whatever, that's not my deal.
Right.
That's not my deal. I can't do anything about it. So if it doesn't work, that's not my deal. I can only do what God is asking me to do.
It's a great way to look at it. I mean, so many of us, we can focus or obsess about things that are out of our control, and we do that, and a lot of us do. I do. And we can allow these things to kind of take over our minds, because there are, believe me, because it happens to me. We can.
I do it.
Right, we do. I've spoken to Tamika about my daughter, and I've talked to Steve. I've been on a show where I've been honest about what's happened in my own life, and it can be very easy to let your dark thoughts have those things take control, and because they can discourage us. And and that's exactly what the adversary wants us to do. Is he wants us to be down. He wants us to be sad. He wants us to be depressed, because he doesn't want us to be happy. He doesn't want us to have joy. He'd rather have us be miserable. And you know what? God has different plans, like you said, Howard. Amen to that. Praise God. He has different plans for us.
Howard,
yeah, Steve.
Just one question. What would you say to potential donors who may not practice the Christian faith? What would you want them to know about donor transplant?
Well, on the physical side, that the technology is fantastic. It's better than it's ever been. You'll still have downtime of about 8 weeks. The surgery will still be harder on the donor than the recipient. So all the physical things that I encountered or I was up against was still the same as everybody else. I just had some faith to balance it off with, and I was able to lean into that. And Steve, if I don't have the answer for if God wanted me to do this and it didn't go well, that's his plan. But I was told that, I'm going to be blessed because of my obedience. And that's cool.
Amen.
I need to stay humble. I cannot get a big head about this because it was never my idea. So I got to be humble and stay humble and keep on serving. As soon as I put myself above everybody else, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I need to put people ahead of me and keep on serving and do what I did, because when I hear the story about the guy that donated to another guy at church, I want to be that guy. I didn't make the decision.
Yeah.
God made it for me, and I just did what I was told. So I want to be that guy. I want to be obedient. I want to have my faith. He's given me so much grace and mercy. I still want to be that guy.
Right.
I just happen to be him.
Wow.
And I know that probably doesn't make sense, but it does to me.
Right.
It makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell the story, and I get inspired to be
That
a
is
better
inspiring.
man, to be a better husband,
Oh,
to be a
wow.
better father, a person out in the community. I can do better. Every day we have the opportunity to be a better person than the day before.
Yes, yes. And you know what? I don't think people take advantage of that to be a better person than they was the day before. I think they dwell too much on what didn't go right with the day before. And,
Right.
you know, just try to wake up in a new light the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, if God put this on my heart, then okay, He's got it handled. He's got it handled. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, may God
and that's kind of what
for that.
Thank you.
May Him continue to really bless you for that, because there's a lot of people that would not even think about it.
Right.
Right.
You know, and even some people will. Some people will even recognize that God may be giving them inspiration. Okay, you know, because you had said that those thoughts about donating kept up. You know, that they were in your thoughts. Okay, that you kept they were in your mind, and you kept on having those thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes other people will continue to have those thoughts, you know, and they'll know it's in their mind, and it keeps on happening. And yet they still don't decide to do it. Okay.
Well,
and that's what I find very inspiring, Howard. You decided to act on it. Okay. Not everybody does. Even some of them even know, okay, they're being inspired.
Right.
And they still don't act.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You're right, Jared.
And then some people that fear overcome, even when they keep hearing like, maybe I should donate, maybe I should donate. That one ounce of fear stops them.
Uh-huh.
Right. So, Tamika, what would happen if someone did follow through, and look at the blessings that they would miss out on if they had gone through it? I learned how truly true it is about giving. It's better to give than receive.
Yes.
Man, I learned that firsthand, and I've heard that saying a million times, but to experience that, and I don't want to live my life and go, I should have done this or that.
Right.
Yeah, what if? I mean, that's worse than not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
Right. And then, you never know who life you change by giving. Like, you never know what a person is truly going through, and you decide to give them. You know, you really make a huge impact on them and change their lives with something so simple.
Right. So if I had said no and not decided to do this, one, I wouldn't have met you three. I wouldn't be on the show. And who knows where I'd be in my life right now. You know?
Now, Howard, far as advocacy, what has being a kidney donor, what has that inspired you to do outside of that? You have mentioned that now you talk in churches and go around. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm an ambassador with Donor Network West here in Northern Nevada. And so we speak to high school students who are studying driver's ed. And so we encourage them to register as a donor when they get their driver's license. I talk to, we have Carrington College, which is a nursing program. So I speak to those students. Orvis Nursing, I talk to them. And then I'm able to speak at the local hospitals at different venues and different venues that Donor Network sets up, that we can just share about the myths that they have out there about organ donation. And I was able to speak at a prison about 90 miles north of Reno. I was able to talk to the inmates about that. And,
really?
Encourage them.
No, but only reason I'm smiling because it's a lot of inmates But this is the thing with that. It's a lot of inmates that wouldn't even probably. I mean,
Think about it.
Right.
some of
Right.
them. I mean, it'll be maybe 50-50, Tamika, because it's a lot of hypertension
Right.
and other things going on in prison that affects those organs.
Right. I was
That
just
was
about to say that a lot of times they come in as compromised kidneys.
Right.
And
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah.
So the system in California is not doesn't. I don't think it allows them to go through any process of wanting to be a donor because they would have to be tested, and then you would have to have a security guard go out and get tested. But the thing is that when they get out, there was a lot of encouragement for them.
Hmm.
That was probably the biggest thing, encouragement for their life also.
Right.
And
Sure.
I talked to them about, the faith and obedience of having a changed life. So, and I've spoken at Rotary events, local Rotary events around town also.
Wow.
Nice. Very nice.
Keep it up.
What's the future holds for you, Howard?
I
mean,
don't
what's
know.
the end game with your advocacy? I mean, do you have a certain amount of people you want to sign up, or I mean, you just want to keep going and advocate about donor and the whole kidney disease?
I actually am not sure at this moment. I know that I'm trying to just stay in the present moment of what I'm doing right now. I'm in Toastmasters, so I'm learning how to speak publicly. I've been doing that for over a year. I take on events.
That's awesome, man.
I do
going to do that.
shows. I did another radio interview for another pastor friend of mine. So I'm just kind of taking it a day at a time and just going with. I expect good things out of God, big things. So, but right now I'm just kind of taking it a day at a time and doing what I can in the community.
Very cool.
And
Yeah,
so,
he'll be a great guest host.
Yes.
So
man.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I shot the video in December with a friend of mine, and so we were able to reach a lot of people and encourage a lot of people there.
Awesome. Awesome.
Nice.
You know, March is National Kidney Awareness Month. Maybe you can do another commercial.
Wow. Yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Cool.
Absolutely. Right. Maybe do something different.
Yeah.
Come from a different perspective, because you were on the bench, sharing your story.
Right.
Now maybe you could do one where you talk about the serious need for organ donation.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a serious need.
I signed up for a TED Talk here in Nevada.
Okay. Right on.
I made the final cut, but it wasn't what they were looking for. So
why not?
I know. Well,
you should be a front runner.
I didn't know you could sign up for that.
Yeah, Reno's a big event for TEDx, and so it's all good. It's the timing is what it is.
It wasn't for you at the time.
Right.
It wasn't.
Maybe
what is doing?
Yes.
What it's doing is preparing you.
Exactly.
It's preparing you for what's
especially the Toastmasters.
Yes.
That Toastmaster course. Yeah.
Yes. Definitely. So
that's a great course.
I'm just keep on doing what I'm doing.
Me too.
If make the path straight for me, then if you want me to speak at Toastmaster or at TEDx, he'll make it happen.
Yes. It's going to happen. The thing is, you got to write it down and speak it into existence and what you want.
I've done that.
Period. Just keep writing it down and keep speaking into existence. And it will
You're so right, Tamika.
We speak so many negative things, to happen into our life, and we're so comfortable with that instead of speaking positive things, things that come into our life. So
Howard, how is your recipient, your friend, doing who received the kidney?
He's doing excellent. The doctors said, this is their words, that he is doing extremely well, and he has an excellent kidney. That's what his
A lot
doctor
of
said.
medication.
He takes 4.5 pills a day. That's it.
What? That's it?
Wow.
That's a damn
4.5
good
Wow.
pitch. That's
Yeah, that's
Four
not
and a
bad at all.
half pills a day.
wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Right?
Wow. I mean, I know people is taking like up to 15, 20.
13, 14.
Wow.
Yeah. Right.
Jared, what do you think about that?
Yeah. That's awesome. That is. I mean, man.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's very cool.
Four and a
Yeah, he's
half
doing
pills
extremely
a day.
Wow.
He's doing
So-
extremely well.
And wasn't it
All right.
Audrey the
Huh?
other night saying that she only took like two pills a day or something?
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, that shows you not
amazing.
everybody is going to be the same.
Right. 'cause
Right.
everyone's
Exactly.
body is different, you know.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Wow. So,
Cool.
Howard, I mean, as we get ready to end our show,
Yeah.
anybody you want to give a shout out to or give well before we do that, can you just share some words of encouragement to people who may be watching this broadcast looking for a kidney and potential people who may be thinking about donating? Any words of encouragement of faith can you leave with us?
Well, if you're thinking about it, I know that if you're thinking about donating, and if you say that this is something you should do, or you're considering it, that's the time that you should probably actually do it, and follow that part of your heart, and just trust the situation. And for those who are waiting, that's a tough deal. And that's what broke my heart about Mark, is people having to wait for a kidney. So it's, my heart goes out to those people. I'll still pray for them, and God's timing is perfect. And I know that's all I can say about that. But I know it's hard. It's very hard. So just keep plugging away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Continue to have faith.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Any you head out before we end this broadcast?
What's that?
I said, anybody you want to give a shout? Hello,
Oh,
our broadcast.
I don't. I'm on the West Coast. I don't know too many people on the East Coast.
But you can shout out.
I just want to say
your family. You know.
You got any
Your family,
friends
your
watching?
friends.
I don't know. This kind of came on kind of quickly, but I just want to thank you guys for having me on here. I really appreciate that.
You're so welcome. Thank you for what
It's
you
a-
did and for coming on.
Oh, absolutely.
It's been a pleasure,
Absolutely,
honestly.
Howard. And
It's
and
been a
thank you
pleasure.
for supporting our show and watching us. We really appreciate your
Oh.
support.
Definitely, it's great to I see Steve and Jared on Facebook all the time, so it's like, hey, I know those guys. So
Yeah,
it's cool to finally hook
Tamika,
up with you guys.
yeah, she's behind the scenes. You don't see it, but she's behind the scenes working hard and over on Instagram
Okay, I'll
representing.
check you out, Tamika. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Howard, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it and hope that your story will inspire someone else to definitely give the gift of life to someone.
Great. I appreciate it, Steve. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Howard. Have a good
All
night.
right.
Thank
Bye,
you,
you guys.
Howard.
Thanks, Howard.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was so amazing. I
That
got
was-
a little choked
What do
up.
you think?
Man, I've been uplifted.
Mm-hmm.
Been uplifted,
You
encouraged.
got to get them on your show, Jared.
Yeah, I'd be a great co-host. Just very inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like I've gone to church. I mean, I feel like I've been
Yes.
uplifted.
Yes.
You know, and I just
Right.
feel like this. You know, I feel like it should give light and it should give hope to so many other people.
Right, right. And I feel like you, Jerry. I feel uplift. I'm sorry.
Where's Lisa Baxter? Sean Doe.
She's been here. I even, squirted a few, with little tears because, you
Mhm.
just never know what someone's going through.
You don't.
His words just was so powerful, even though they were so simple. They was just so powerful that I couldn't even like control them. I just had to just wipe my tears and just thank him for them because I needed it.
Me too.
I
Me
really
too.
needed it.
Oh,
Yeah, it touched me
absolutely.
tonight. It did.
Absolutely.
So,
Great show.
yes.
Well, guys, before we go, I just wanted to put something on Michael Scott with Dallas's Warrior gear. He sent me a picture. So for Warriors who's watching, if you got a dog, he sent me a picture of one of his pieces. I'm going to display it. So,
Oh, that is so cool.
Oh,
it says
Very cool.
Dallas's Diva Beastie. And
Nice.
it's for a small dog. And
All
if you
right.
want to reach out to Mike to order one for your pet, anyone who's watching, we have his information scrolling at the bottom. www.etsy.com/shop/Dallas's Warrior Gear. And you can find other gear such as this on his site. So I thought that was awesome.
right.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So-
That's so cool.
I wanted to give a go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead. No, I didn't say anything.
No, I was gonna say I want to give a shout out to one of my patients. Today was her 18th year on dialysis. Her name is Teresa Stevens, and she started the birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, she started a birthday club in the unit where she go around and give some of the patients gifts for their birthdays and make she make baskets. She does a lot to keep the morale up in the unit. I think sometimes it goes unseen, but she does a lot, and I just wanted to give her a shout out and congratulate her on 18 years being on dialysis, being on the machine for 18 years.
Wow.
So
That is,
congratulations to
Yes.
Lisa Stevens of DCI Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, absolutely. And send a
Very nice.
birthday shout outs to Shantae Gatlin that's in our group Dallas's Boot Camp
Yes.
101, and sending health and wellness and prayers and thoughts to Sabrina Forward that's in the hospital with the flu. She's had a transplant.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure when, but when you're dealing with the flu and you have a transplant, your body is already
right.
immunocompromised. So
Mhm.
Definitely sending out prayers and thoughts to you, Sabrina.
Right. You know what, Steve? I think that's something that we should do on the end of our shows. Even if Jared wants to do it on the end of his shows, if he knows someone's birthday or someone's in the hospital, kind of like church, the sick and shut in, just shout
Right.
them out.
I love that.
Shout them
It's a
out.
great idea.
Speak,
Yeah.
speak their name,
Yeah.
speak their
Oh,
name.
absolutely.
Like, just-
Say it out loud. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely got to write that down before
Yes.
the shows, research. But yeah, we're going to definitely do that. That's
You
a
know,
good idea, Tamika.
Great idea.
Have people in a group give their birthdays, and we'll shout them out on the show, because some
Sure.
people don't have family.
Yeah.
And that little happy birthday to so and so and so could go a long way.
No, it does. And the small things add up to become mountains. They do. So
Yes.
the small things matter.
Mm-hmm. So
Little
just,
things.
just YouTube matter. Just having YouTube matter.
Uh-huh.
To me.
That's right. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go. I'm
Wow.
sorry. That little I better not be pregnant because I'm a little emotional right now.
Oh my God.
No, it's great having you. It's great having you on the show. And I really appreciate you, Tamika, and I appreciate you as well, Steve. It's great to be a part of the Outreach Media. network, and it's a wonderful opportunity for me. I appreciate you both, man. I'm getting a
I
lot
mean,
of
we came a long way.
And
I mean,
you know
huh?
what I love so much about it is we don't see race. You know, we don't see color or anything. You know, we just see the hearts of the other person. You know, just wanting to help and continue this mission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Jared, man, it
I
came
love
a
you.
long way with your graphic design and what y'all do for people. I mean, that's top notch, like 21st century stuff that I never seen before. You know, with someone trying to appeal for a living donor. You know, as we talked earlier, Jared. I mean, I just see you not stopping at kidneys. Somebody looking need a heart transplant or liver or pancreas.
All
I
right.
mean, it's so much that you could do with that, but God has definitely blessed you with some great talents, and we appreciate that intro that you did for us.
Yeah.
Tamika Jared did the
Yes,
intro.
I
I mean,
know. And you know what, Jared? I meant to text you and to tell you that something else that you could do for the people that's looking for kidneys is you could formulate a letter for them to send to the news.
Mm-hmm. That's a
And
good
maybe,
idea.
and maybe they'll come to their house. It's worth a chance. The worst thing they can
Yeah.
say is no. Like you get a no, not doing it. So just try
Uh-huh.
it. Just, you know, get a letter.
oh yeah,
Just a,
share that story.
yeah,
Sure.
just
Well, that's what it says in this book that I shared. You gotta share your
Share it
gotta
story.
everywhere.
share it.
Every opportunity.
Every opportunity, you know, and be like, this is another way. So not just Warriors Quest. This is
Mm-hmm.
another way. If you like another way, here's this letter. I'm gonna send you the template. You fill it out and you send it to your local news. You send it to the
Put in
newspaper.
your name. Yeah.
Send it to the hospital. You just start sending it out, and the worst thing that could happen is nothing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
But there's so much,
Right.
yes,
so
but
much.
that's something.
Yeah, but the risk is small, but the reward could be great.
Right,
So
right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Jared. Well, man, thank you for coming on.
you're welcome.
Definitely going to get off here,
All
getting
right.
tired. I ain't going to
Yeah.
lie to
Go
you.
ahead, get some rest.
Oh, but
All right,
but Jared,
my pleasure.
definitely going to call you back. We're going to have a mission on tomorrow night, gentlemen. You had on Warriors Quest.
Right.
Hopefully, working
Very
or
nice.
busy, you can join us as well, Tamika. Because we were going to talk tonight originally about in sickness and in health, and that was partnership. It's a wife team show last night. The husband, was it the wife?
Lewis
Right.
and Jasmine Johnson.
What's his wife's name?
So will that be
Yeah,
Lewis and
Jasmine.
Jasmine
But she was
Johnson?
so supportive, really supportive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So is that going
Right,
to be
right.
shown
I mean,
only
real
on the
supportive of her
Facebook?
husband as a team.
Okay. Is that going to be shown only on the Facebook group?
To get that's it. I didn't think about that. I haven't thought about that. What do you think?
Oh, it's a good it's a good question, and I think that
Mhm.
I like it, Tamika. And I would just want to add though, we want to invite a good group of people, but I just want everybody to know and understand that we do have to have the answers questioned or the questions answered. What am I thinking? We have to have the questions answered, and if they're not answered, then you may not get approved. And so please, we want everybody to come in because
Right.
we want a good group of people. That,
Right.
because Steve is sharing, some great information.
Mhm.
And that information should be accessible and hasn't been, accessible to many kidney warriors, and it's great information.
Right.
But we do want people to have those questions answered, or you may not get approved. So please pay attention to those questions.
Right. And
Yeah, and also this week. Now, I was just going to say, if you wasn't going to say it, Tamika, this week tomorrow's the last day of boot camp of all that information. We're coming out with AIT, advanced individual training. Basically, Tamika, we got those themes coming up, right?
Yep. And it still can be boot camp. It's just more structured.
Okay. Nice.
It's just more structured. That's it.
Yeah. So be on the
Wonderful
lookout. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we're just trying to improve us with this group and just trying to get great information out there for those that want it. Because sometimes some people don't want it, and we just want to put it out there for those that do.
Absolutely. Well said, Tamika. Well said.
Yes.
So, all right, Jared. Well, we're going to catch you if you want to come on tomorrow. I think we're going to go ahead and broadcast from the group.
Okay.
And,
all right.
Yeah.
And sickness and health. That's what it is. Because, Tamika, there's a lot of warriors that been diagnosed or had a spouse, and either man or female that left the relationship or maybe having issues. I don't know, Jared, have you any of your
I have interviewed some guests and their spouses left. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's because they don't understand. And I think also it's because they don't believe. Like, because you don't look sick. Like, what is that?
I know.
You don't look sick. So them seeing that you look okay, but they don't see what you're going through. They just don't understand, and then they're not patient.
Exactly. Patience.
They're not patient, and you have to be patient. And though I'm not a dialysis patient, I thank God for my husband that he is so patient, because I have a lot of health issues, and he's so patient. If he was not patient, we would not be together today. So you have to have patience in relationships, especially when your loved one is ill.
Wow.
Because it's not about you, it's about them. And when you're in a relationship and you don't put that relationship to be about you, about the other person, I believe you have longevity, even if the person is ill.
You can work through things.
You can work through it because that person worries about you, and you worry about that person versus that person being selfish and worry about themselves.
Right.
Absolutely.
So on the world.
So that's tomorrow night, 8:00. We're going to do that.
Yes. Through sickness and health.
Absolutely.
Bring it on.
Yes.
All right, guys. So, Jared, you be able to participate?
I should be able to. I haven't looked at my calendar, but I think I can.
Look at your calendars and just let me know tomorrow, and I'll send you the link just in case.
All right.
What about you, Tamika?
I'm gonna try. Send me the link. All I can do.
All right. I know it's still going to go down. I know, but it's still going to go down.
No, the reason why I say that is because I have to be to work a little extra early on Saturday.
Oh, right. Yeah, I hear you. All right, Jared, we're going to catch you, man. You take it easy.
All right, peace out.
All right, thanks.
Good night, everyone.
Tamika.
Yes.
This was a great show.
It was.
Yeah, it's great seeing you, man. Love you to death, and just hold on. It's coming. Things are unfolding.
I know.
Trust me.
Sometimes it's just hard. Sometimes life is just gives you that kick in your spine. You just.
I know. Yeah, I gotta get information so we could pop up at the transplant games like NBC at the Olympics.
Yeah, we're gonna roll up in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not ready.
Right.
Yes, we're gonna go over there. We're gonna have some giveaways, and I'm very excited for 2020 and years moving forward with Urban Health Outreach Media.
Absolutely.
I believe we will begin to change people's lives. Those that want it. Because you can't help everyone. Everyone don't want help. Everyone don't want information.
That is true, unfortunately.
So you can't worry about the ones that don't. Just keep thanking the ones that do, and helping them. And maybe by helping them, they'll pull someone else in.
Absolutely.
And spread the word.
That's right. All right, guys. Let me bring it one more time. Michael Scott's dog gear.
Oh, shucks.
If you have a dog, Dialysis Diva. Uh, Mike Scott with dialysis gear.
Dialysis Warrior
Dialysis
gear
Warrior gear.
Yes, you could purchase this item or more on Etsy at Dialysis Warrior Gear Etsy shop. He has a lot of awesome things on there, guys. So check it out. He has things for your access. You want to cover your access. And he has some awesome shirts. So check them out.
Absolutely. All right, Tamika. I'll definitely be in touch with you. You got to work in the morning?
No, I work today.
Okay. Good. I'm glad you are. So I'll be in touch tomorrow, okay?
All right. You get some rest.
I will. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Thank you guys for supporting
Anything you got to say?
Thank you guys for supporting us. We so appreciate it. Share. And remember,
absolutely. Absolutely. Good night, everyone.
Good night.